So now we are discuss the lab exercise 26, the somatic senses. In sensation occur in central nervous system after sensory generate nerve impulse conveying environmental changes to the CNS. Sensory receptors can be classified in a number of ways. They can be classified by mode. The photoreceptors are sensitive to light, chemoreceptors sensitive to certain chemicals, and the mechanoreceptors are sensitive to mechanical changes or the movement. Sensory receptors can also be classified according to their location. Exteroceptors that located in the skin, proprioceptors located in muscle, and the visceroceptors or interoceptors that located in liver tissue or viscera. Senses mediated by the sensory receptors of the body can be categorized into two major groups, the somatic senses and the special senses. Special senses involve elaborate sensory organs, the eyes and the ear, and the somatic senses are less elaborate, just single receptors embedded in skin or muscle tissue. The goal in this discussion is to explain the distinction between somatic senses and special senses, demonstrate the use of the proprioceptive sense controlling by body movement, demonstrate that exteroceptors are not evenly distributed in the skin.
My report is about cutaneous sense. Cutaneous sense are somatic sense that are mediated by exteroceptor, sensory receptor in the skin. Cutaneous senses include sensitivity to touch, pressure, heat, cold, vibration, and any other stimulus felt through the skin. Next, 2-point discrimination. It is a test is used to assess if the patient is able to identify two close points on a small area of skin and how fine the ability to discriminate these are. It is a measure of atactical agnosia, or the inability to recognize these 2 points, despite intact cutaneous sensation and proprioception. This test can be done using calipers. 2-point discrimination test. The point of calipers are held against the skin at a different distance from each other. The test determines the minimal distance at which the patient can be distinguished whether 1 or 2 points are in the contact with the skin. 1 or 2 points are touched in a random sequence along the longitudinal axis in the center of the fingertip. Weber's 2-point discrimination test is the most common used method, assessing sensibility of the upper extremity. 2-point instruments have replaced the ones used on fold paper clip, with the instrument tips oriented longitudinal on the digit. The examiner randomly applies 1 or 2 points to the hand, relying on absence of skin balancing to control the amount of force applied.
Thermoreceptors. Thermoreceptors respond to temperature changes and determines the density of two types of receptors. Receptors for temperature are either cold or warm receptors. Cold receptors respond to decreasing temperatures but stop at temperatures below 12 degrees Celsius or 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Warm receptors respond to increasing temperatures but stop at temperatures above 47 degrees Celsius or 117 degrees Fahrenheit. It is sometimes difficult to distinguish very cold from very warm objects touching the skin because only pain receptors are stimulated at temperatures below 12 degrees Celsius or above 47 degrees Celsius. Thermoreceptors. Draw a 2.5 cm square on the palmar surface of the wrist. Divide into 16 blocks using a ruler. eyes closed. Gently but firmly touch the tip of a blunt metal probe cold on eyes to the point of the grid. Mark the position and record. Record 0 if the subject did not feel coolness. Record plus if the subject feels coolness. Repeat for about 25 to 35 different points on the grid. Repeat the test using probe warmed into hot tap water. This is the example of recording and marking in the thermoreceptors. Touch receptors. Touch receptors are structurally more complex than free nerve endings. Many touch receptors are enclosed by capsules. There are several types of receptors. Merkel disc that detects light touch and superficial pressure. Hair follicle receptors are associated with hairs are also involved in detecting light touch. Light touch receptors are very sensitive but not very discriminative, meaning that the point being touched cannot be precisely located. Meissner corpuscles located just deep to the epidermis. These receptors are very specific in localizing tactile sensations. Deeper tactile receptors, called Ruffini corpuscles, play an important role in detecting continuous pressure in the skin. The deepest receptors are associated with tendons and joints and are called Pacinian corpuscles. These are receptors that rely information concerning deep pressure, vibration, and position, or proprioception. Density of touch receptors. Draw a 2.5 cm or 1 inch square on the back of the subject's hand using rubber stamp or washable marker. Divide the square into 16 blocks within the box. Use ruler for grid. Subject's eyes closed. Touch using a tip of horsetail on the grid, just hard enough to bend it. Mark the position on the matching grid in your report. Record 0 if it was not felt, and record plus if it was felt. Repeat at 25 to 35 different points within the grid. This is the example of recording and marking the density of touch receptors.
Say to everyone, I'm Catherine Omabini, assigned in demonstrating the use of proprioceptive sense in controlling body movement. So the proprioception, that means muscle sense, ability to sense contraction or tension of muscle organ, including stretch receptors, is called muscle spindles and Golgi complex. In the use of signature lines, in the first, with eyes open, and next, with eyes closed. Think of the advantage to survival using the sense. Is there a difference? Because when your eyes are open, you can see what are you doing, and when you're writing a signature, you can focus. Compared when you close your eyes, you cannot see what you are doing and you cannot focus because you cannot seeing where you have written your signature. And I demonstrate the distance from center. So with eyes open, draw a cross on the whiteboard or anything paper at about eye level. And close your eyes, extend hand to side and back to touch the center of the cross using a marker or pen, and make a small mark on the spot. And the last is measure the distance, and the result is 9 centimeters. In the multiple choice, number 1, somatic senses may include. The answer is E. A and B are correct. The proprioception and sense of touch. The number 2 is mechanoreceptors are sensitive to change in. The answer is letter B. Position, pressure, and shape. 3 is exteroceptors may be sensitive to change in. The answer is letter E. A and B are correct. The temperature and pressure. Number 4, the 2-point discrimination test determines the density of. The answer is letter E. A and B are correct. The continuous touch receptors and continuous thermoreceptors. Number 5, thermoreceptors are sensitive to. The answer is letter E. Any of the above may be correct. The heat, cold, changes in temperature, and external stimuli. Number 6, the sense of vision is an example of a. The answer is letter A, special sense. Number 7, cold receptors and heat receptors are probably distributed evenly over the skin of the body. The answer is letter B, false. Number 8 is touch receptors are probably distributed evenly over the skin surface. Answer is letter B, false. Number 9 is proprioceptors may include. The answer is letter E. B and C are correct. Golgi tendons, organs, and muscle spindles. And then number 10, the last is the proprioceptive sense involve exteroceptors. The answer is false.